everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. This has been the long-awaited video of me showing you guys what's going to be in the Eco Dye bundles and how they're going to look when they're packaged so I can get them uploaded onto my website. So let me show you how they're packaged. This is just some masking paper you get from, like Lowe's or Home Depot. This is some vintage flour sack material, and I just have it closed with some masking tape there and on the bottom. And then I have a dried magnolia leaf, which is from one of our visits back to Oregon. This is a twig from one of the trees on our property, and a pine cone here, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then I just have on here a tag and some other embellishments that you guys will see when I show you what's in each of the bundles and how I'm going to assemble them. Okay, so a note about the pine cone and even the twigs. I wanted to make sure that the pine cones were all sanitized. I didn't want any crawlies to come out whenever they were in the box to ship to you and everything. So I looked online to see how to sanitize them or clean them, and I found multiple places that said to soak it in vinegar and water, sit for 30 minutes. I went overboard and I did it for about an hour or so, and then I put them in the garage so they could dry in here because I didn't want them to be outside drying, because me and my OCD, I was worried that they would creepy crawl back in there. So there's absolutely nothing in the pine cones. They're in my house. They're totally fine. I didn't have to wash the twigs off, but I did just because. So this stuff is all clean. You're not going to have anything, weird coming out of it or anything. So just wanted to preface that. Okay, so let's take a peek at what's going to be inside each of the bundles. Okay, so due to the nature of doing eco printing and eco dyeing, each of the bundles is not going to be exactly the same. Just different papers, different ways that the dye bath will, make marks and things like that. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that this is just an example of one of the bundles. So you can see there is just a lot of different textiles, papers, fibers, and then on the top here, each of them has a tag. Some have two, some have three, the smaller ones. So we got three of these little tags here, and this is just a larger tag. And then let me move this off to the side here just a little bit. So I won't go probably through each and every piece because, as I mentioned, each bundle is going to be different, but just to kind of give you an idea. So there are just some different textiles, and I do have a video that I will link below in case you're interested, where I'm showing you the massive amount of different papers and fabrics and things that I use. So like this is an example. This is just some packaging, or excuse me, some corrugated cardboard there. Really cool marks. And then, just like some different bits of vellum, and just to kind of show you a little bit closer here, just a ton of different things. And I don't have an exact count per bundle, of course. I was just layering and stacking, and there are some that you cannot see in as I'm doing this because they're, the way that I have them stacked and layered inside. So there are just some really cool marks, whether it be from the rusty things, from the different items that I put on top, meaning like different strings, different sizes of string, or how I layered them. And then also the yellow, in case you're wondering, that is from the turmeric that I used on the top of the dye bath, and I kind of sprinkle some in between the layers. So you're going to kind of see those colors, and then the dried hibiscus flowers that I use that makes this really cool kind of purpley bluish color. And then from the iron and from the rusty items that I have within the dye bath water itself, not in the bundles, that kind of creates like a mordant, and so it makes this really cool kind of grayish color. So just to kind of explain where some of these different shades and tones will come from. So on top of the bundles, before I wrap them, I have made one of these for each of the bundles, and the quantity of items is the same. The different material that I use is from the leftover fabric bits that was actually used within the bundles, making all these different papers and fabrics. So each one is going to be a little bit different. As I mentioned, I just grabbed random pieces of fabric. So here we have these brass pins. I put 3, and then a large and a medium size rusty paper clip. This is a binder clip, and then a couple of different sizes of safety pins. Now, I thought it'd be kind of cool to include these because these items were actually used in the dye bath for all of these bundles that I've put together. So I thought it'd be kind of fun just to kind of give you something that was from the actual bath itself, but also some embellishments that you can use in whatever project or however you want to use the bundle in your different crafting and art projects. So originally these items were all rusted, but when you do in the eco bath like this, and I've done these multiple times in several different batches, they kind of turn this really cool kind of dark color, but you can still see some of the rust going through. So I think that's just kind of a fun, cool little look too. So, and again, these are how I made the marks on a lot of the different papers and fabrics. So this gets wrapped into the masking paper, and then I'll move on to what's on the very top. So each of the bundles do have this little roll up of different fabrics and trims and different textiles. Again, just layer different ones. And then I have one of those safety pins that is from the actual dye bath. And then I just took it and I just rolled it up like this. And then I, stuck it on top of the tag. And this is actually some of the ties that I used around the bundles on another tag that was in the dye bath. And then it goes on like this, of course, much cuter than that. And then I closed this fabric bundle here with another one of the safety pins. I'm not sure if I just said that or not. Sorry if I did. And then I included one of the different rusting nails that I again used in the dye bath. I would place these in between the different papers and fabrics, and I would also take some and just wrap some different string and twine and whatnot around it, and that would make a really cool mark as well. So it was hard for me to give up some of my rusty stuff, but if you guys have seen my rust foraging video series, I have a lot. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to incorporate one of these pieces. So if you don't have access to this kind of a thing and you want to play around with doing your own different dyes, that'd be kind of cool to do that. And then these are the tea bags, again, that were used within the dye bath itself. Each bundle's getting 6. Just worked out that that's how many I had, was perfect. Some will be the longer tea bags and some are going to be the square like the Celestial Seasonings tea bags. And then again, here's another one of the binder clips that I used within the dye bath. So this gets all wrapped all cute and pretty, and then I stick this on top of the bundle once it's been wrapped with the papers you saw, and then I close it off with some, actually I'm sorry, back up. This string right here, this has not been in the dye bath. I left it like its original state in case you wanted to have it this color or you wanted to dye it yourself a different shade. So this is what gets wrapped around the bundle itself. Then the paper, and then these items right here on the very top. And then the paper, and then on the very top we have the pine cone and the branch, and then the magnolia leaf, which I forgot to bring out here. And then I tie it off with another strip of this vintage flower sack towel. Okay, so again, I will have 14 of these bundles listed up on my website. I will have a direct link to that listing in the description box below. And again, just to kind of give you a quick peek, these of course will be packaged very well in a box, as I always do. And just another close-up of all the different goodies that you're going to be getting into the different bundles that I have. So thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I've been doing a lot of posting about this on my Instagram and just kind of doing some different sneak peeks and things along that line. So I finally got this video done and I'm going to get it uploaded as soon as possible. So thank you guys again so much. Check out the description box below, not only for the link to the listing for these 14 bundles, but also for any of the different videos that I have made along the way, kind of sharing with you how I did this process. Thanks so much, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.